Welcome back, Fan-Fueled family. Been a while since we did a proper voiced video, huh? I was listening to some old gen Monster Hunter music and something struck me. A particular track stuck with me. Despite not having ever played Monster Hunter Tri or 3U, this felt like magic, and the more I listened, the more I noticed it elsewhere too. I am, of course, talking about the single greatest leitmotif in gaming, To One With Life. So, first things first, what is a leitmotif? Gather round, kiddos, time for music theory. The word leitmotif comes from German, literally leading motif, and is, in short, a recurring musical phrase associated with a person, place, or idea. Leitmotifs are great because they take a musical concept and carry it through the story to change and evolve. It becomes soul, not just notes. So, for example, the Imperial March in Star Wars. Here's the key section and then the leitmotif appearing in Anakin vs. Obi-Wan. So now that we understand what a leitmotif is, why do I say that To One With Life is the greatest in gaming? Simply because of how well it's integrated and transformed in subsequent themes in Tri and 3U. In Monster Hunter Tri, you are a hunter sent to Moga Village. It's a small village on the coast of the deserted island. There are humble people with a proud culture, a tight-knit community deeply tied to the sea. Their children play in the water, the adults dive for materials and fish for a living. The elderly gaze out at the sea, for the sea is where life came from and where it goes. They are, fundamentally, a people defined by a strong community, a shared life with the waves keeping them alive, but their connections to each other making them truly live. That is where our journey into this leitmotif begins. To One With Life is the theme song of the game, and it captures the core identity of Monster Hunter really well. Humanity isn't above life or outside of nature. Humanity is life, and that's the message that Moga's people really drive home. They don't dominate the sea, they live with the sea. It fills their days with joy and food and reflection and beauty. They are born by the sea, they grow by the sea, they live by the sea, fall in love by the sea, and eventually, they will die by the sea. And that's okay, because that's life, to grow and thrive with nature and one day return to it. Moga is a celebration of life with nature, with life, to one with life. I'm going to play the leitmotif now, and then we'll start talking about the recurrences and monsters and locations. The way the music flows feels almost like the waves lapping against the shore, a cyclical flow, in and out, an ebb and flow like the tides themselves. The rest of the song outside of the leitmotif crashes as well, like waves striking a great cliff. That alone puts To One With Life head and shoulders above many other game themes. But let's go deeper. I mentioned that this leitmotif recurs and changes. What did I mean by that? Well, let's look at the first example, Lagiacrus' theme, Tremble of the Sea and Land. The faster tempo, the more commanding presence, Tremble of the Sea and Land tells a different side of life than peace and harmony. It tells of an apex predator, a leviathan asserting its dominion over its territory. This is Lagiacrus,
the Lord of the Seas!
This is no longer simply harmony with life, this is dominion over life within nature, a powerful being fulfilling its role as the top of its food chain. Lagiacrus is the Lord of the Seas, and this change to the leitmotif asserts its dominance over its ecosystem while still existing within the ecosystem. Now, what about life that is oppressive? Could that get a version of the leitmotif? Ladies and gentlemen, I give you our favorite big angry pickle, Devil Joe. Ah, Devil Joe, everyone's favorite invasive pickle. So, did you hear it in his theme? That's no longer life within the ecosystem. That's life out of balance. It's voracious, desperate hunger driving devastation. There's a reason that Devil Joe is called the World Eater, and it's because of exactly what this take on the leitmotif tells us. Devil Joe is destructive, yet still life. It is a creature that has such a ferociously high metabolism that it eats entire food webs, devouring countless prey animals before eventually moving on. The theme is discordant, dissonant, it feels warped. And that's exactly what Devil Joe is to an ecosystem. A twist, a massive disruption. But let's take it up a bit. How about something that can shift entire landscapes, not just the creatures in them? Let's intercept the Great Gong. The Gen Moran. Intercepting the Great Gong. Life given siege. At 111.619 meters or 366 feet and 2.46 inches, Gen Moran is life in awe, life at scale. A life the size of a small landmass swimming through the sand. Mass and speed and majesty, power, a daunting task for any hunter to stop should this life become dangerous. Just as a side note, we really need Gen Moran back in the Wilds expansion. Those opening dunes would be perfect. But I really want the monster that we'll talk about last. How about when life isn't just forced to fight, but when it wants to throw hands? When a creature's whole identity is tied to punch it harder? Well, get ready for Brutish Indigo. The Little Mac of the Monster Hunter universe. The brute wyvern that will square up with the gods themselves and say, nah, I'd win. Brachydios. In Brutish Indigo, Brachy's theme, the leitmotif is almost a countdown. It swells, twists, and turns, almost like a fuse, and at the end of the fuse, the music explodes again. Very on point for the monster that will punch you to splatter explosive slime all over you. Yet this is still life. Brachydios' slime is symbiotic, life synergized with life. Just a thought, if Brachydios is Monster Hunter's Little Mac, does that make Raging Brachydios a Big Mac? I don't know what you guys think of that idea, but I'm loving it. But what happens when life is too powerful? When it is so immense in magnitude that it disrupts everything around it simply by exerting its own power? My friends, behold the chime from a shimmering bell. The blazing black dragon Alatreon. The leitmotif here takes an almost tragic tone, because contrary to what the guild describes about Apocalypse, Alatreon seems to almost seek self-exile. This powerful elder dragon seems aware of its elemental instability and actively seeks out locations that are far from other life. This is a creature that lives in volcanic wastelands, caverns devoid of life, and even the depths of the sea to avoid its power destroying, and yet the guild dispatches us to slay it. A life that seeks isolation to avoid devastation, but is still far too powerful to live safely. But what if such a creature did not seek isolation? What if a creature of this kind of immense power simply destroyed by existing? What if the vast ocean was set ablaze? The smelting black dragon, Dire Moralis. A creature with a body temperature so hot that it boils the ocean it lives in. These seas turn red with the blood of the dead and the pyroclastic flow of metal oxides in its magma blood. Its theme is oppressive, overwhelming, destructive. It is a collapse of life. This is the apocalypse. This is all life being killed, reduced to one life, Dire Moralis itself. This is hell on earth, annihilation. Or is it? Listen again, this time with the lead-up. There's something more there. Can you hear it? Not doom, but determination. Not hell, but hope. This is no longer life being annihilated. This is you. This is the hunter, standing tall, saying, I will not permit this devastation to happen. To One with Life in Dire Morales' theme is the emotional equivalent of proof of a hero playing in Fatalis' fight. It is the moment when the battle is reframed from the end of the world to a few people staring at a world ender and refusing to budge because they love this world too much to let it burn. It is to One with Life in that you are turning to face the end, raising your weapon to one destructive creature, and standing with life. Now, let's talk about a few instances of the leitmotif outside of monster themes. First, the start to your hunting journey. Something as mundane as deciding who you are in this world. The character creator, door to a hunting life. This very much has the energy of, your journey is beginning, this is your story, prepare to set out on a grand adventure. Like any good character creator, it sets the tone for who you are in the world and what you're walking into, hence to One with Life being present. Next, the Sea of Fertility. Of course this is to One with Life. It's exactly what we talked about in the opening, the sea giving life. You can feel the awe and joy at the sea's bountiful gift. Next, the Colosseum battle. Life in competition. Yes, a Colosseum isn't a naturally occurring location, but the concept is the same. Life competes in nature as well. Predators that have the same prey, even individuals in the same species compete for food and territory. But we still come back again to the same underlying concept. This is still life. Finally, we have one last version of the leitmotif. Life victorious. But not just you win, because you are a hunter. You are acting for life, for nature. That is what you are as a hunter. You are the kind of person who will run into the flames while others run away. You are the kind of person that will stand and refuse to move when Fatalis raises its head. You are the kind of person who is one with life. To One with Life is special. It's not just this music recurs, it's a different expression of life every time it appears, and to me, that makes it so much better than just, haha, hear the theme in the boss music. It's something more Monster Hunter, an understanding and respect of life in all its forms. And in my opinion, being able to convey that in the leitmotif is magical. Thank you so much for watching. I love To One with Life, as is likely quite apparent from this video. I wanted to get back into voiced videos because it's been a while. If you like this sort of content, give the video a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I reply to every single comment I get because your thoughts matter. I have all the music in full in another video uploaded at the same time as this right here, so if you want to just hear all the music, definitely give that a click. Next time, we'll be talking about Star Wars. And tune in 5 hours after this video goes up for more Sonic Frontiers on stream. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.